Well, it's your boy Nguno in the house, back with another Arsenal news episode. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have some really awesome news for you guys. Well, of course, I will share with you uh, an unreal kind of a news that we have here, ladies and gentlemen. It's really good. We're going to talk about none other than Joe the Blow Willock. Yes, we're going to talk about Joe Willock. What exactly is happening? We're going to revisit certain things that Joe Willock has said. We're going to revisit some things according to Telefootball, Scott Wilson of Echo. We're going to discuss about what is going to happen with Joe Willock. At what stage is Joe Willock actually in at Arsenal at the moment? So, Newcastle will make an offer to Arsenal to turn Joe Willock's loan in a permanent move and are increasingly confident that the player is ready to leave London. According to Telefootball, the sources have indicated that Arsenal are open to the idea of selling the midfielder. Joe Willock will join his representatives in a meeting with Newcastle officials in the next few weeks, and with similar discussions set to take place with the hierarchy at Arsenal, appears receptive to the idea of a permanent move to the northeast. Well, we're not going to end the conversations just there, because if you actually check out from Scott Wilson, the chief sports writer for the Northern Echo, it's pretty much clear what Steve Bruce has said, that he wants to sign him. And Willock told to NUFC that I want to say thank you for making me feel so welcome, and thank you for greeting me with open arms. I hope you're satisfied with what I've given for the club so far, and hopefully there's more to continue in the future. I'm not going to promise anything, but the conversation is going to be held. So he wants to make history with the club, and it's something that Joe Willock is actually pursuing with real. I mean, to score 6 goals in 6 consecutive games, I mean, for a person who was not even good at Arsenal in heading the ball at the right place, right time, but to do that, unbelievable what he's doing. So, Arsenal's interest, according to Sport Witness, Arsenal's interest in Julian Brandt is persistent. Economic conditions have to be right for a deal to be sanctioned, but more importantly, not only Julian Brandt, Arsenal are also in the midst for Emiliano Buendia again. According to Charles Watts, Buendia has moved to the top of their list of playmaker targets as discussions inside the club ramp up ahead of the summer transfer window. Buendia is actually keen to join Arsenal. Now Arsenal stepping up their pursuit for Emiliano Buendia because they're looking at alternatives to Martin Odegaard. This is actually a very good planning, because if Martin Odegaard is not coming to Arsenal, I think there's only one way to think what exactly happened. So why Buendia? According to Charles Watts, who's actually come up with a very descriptive report, he says that the 24-year-old has enjoyed an exceptional season, played a major role in Norwich winning the championship by 6 points. In 39 appearances, he scored 15 goals and contributed 17 assists, more than any player in the division. Now, that was I think for me what Buendia did. I think he wanted to do it, and he did it with wholeheartedly, and there was some fire in their belly, and it clearly tells me that Buendia is the player to go for, if and only if Martin Odegaard cannot be perceived at the moment. So, according to The Athletic, they say that Arsenal have repaid the £120 million loan that they took from the Bank of England, but Athletic also understands that Arsenal have actually taken out a loan from another bank to repay the Bank of England loan. Well, as according to certain reports, it looked like the Cronkies might do something special, so that Arsenal would actually pay off the loan. And there were certain reports which quite misinterpreted that kind of the notion, which demanded Stan Kroenke to shell out his own money to actually pay off that loan, but that was not happening. So yeah, that's a little funny story that I would not want to be a part of right at the moment. So Freddie Lundberg has opened up about Gabriel Martinelli. He says he's very special. He's a lovely boy as well. You hear how he speaks. Of course, he's disappointed he's not starting. I'm extremely excited about him. He's not what you see every day. He has that feeling when he goes and something different happens. And Martinelli has some really special views about going to the Emirates at the last game of the season and to see fans over there. He says that I cannot wait to be at the Emirates and play in front of our fans. We need to finish well this season. We need to prepare and beat Brighton and show the fans a good performance. So that's what you want to hear from the youngster. I'd love to hear that. Also, here's Arsenal's 2021-2022 training range. According to Arsenal Direct, you can actually buy it if you want to pay Kroenke that amount. So moving on. So as we speak about something else, Dennis Bergkamp has actually opened up about, for the first time since the takeover talks, since all the Daniel Egg thing that went around at the club. So Dennis Bergkamp says, we have plenty of ideas about the technical details, but it makes little sense to anticipate them now. First, Daniel has to come take over. After, it would make sense to use the knowledge we have gained during and after our careers. We are ready, and so is Daniel. You have to start at the top to get the change. Hence why a takeover is crucial, so that Arsenal can continue with an owner who understands that a football club should not be run like a company, no matter how much money is involved in English football. When the Super League dominated the news for days, Daniel exploded. During a Zoom meeting with Thierry, Patrick and I, he shared his concerns and plans. That made an impression from the first moment. Daniel doesn't see a takeover as buying a nice toy. The contrary. He understands the passion of a football fan because he is one himself. He also wants to significantly increase the influence of the fans. We think that is very important. We want to get close to the supporters. Daniel likes transparency anyway. Another important point, Daniel understands that Arsenal's problems cannot be solved just like that. Pumping in some extra money and firing the manager, for example, will not get you there. Structural changes must take place. That is a far-reaching long-term project. After I left the club, I always kept in touch with Thierry and Patrick and continued to watch the games. The club is in my heart. I have become a fan just like Patrick and Thierry. I recognize the Arsenal from our own time less and less. The ambition to win top prizes is in Arsenal's DNA. Never accepting to lose, that mentality has slowly disappeared. I sense resignation about the current situation. That is serious, as if given the financial situation, it is normal for Arsenal to end mid-table. And Dennis Bergkamp also opened up about Daniel X's rejected takeover bid for Arsenal. So Dennis Bergkamp said, we can't force anyone to sell. I understand that. In addition to that offer, Daniel has now reached out twice to Josh Kroenke and his bankers. Whatever Kroenke's intentions are, it would be good if we at least have a conversation with each other in the interest of the club. Regardless, Daniel is not a quitter, and neither are we, football boys. We are here to stay. And actually at the end, Bergkamp says, the crazy thing is that we cannot imagine how the current players feel because we have always played for the championship ourselves. We know how the fans feel. We already had a meeting with the supporter delegation. We also sense more and more enthusiasm on their side. So let's see if they're not how persistent they are. But talking about persistence, I think Schalke have confirmed that they have released Shkodran Mustafi following their relegation to the second tier of the German football, the second division. However, the club did not provide an update on Sead Kolasinac and instead thanked the 4 other loanees that will leave the club. So, no Shkodran Mustafi. Bye Shkodran Mustafi. You know what? I feel bad about this whole situation, but he has himself to blame for. I just can't overlook him being not a good player. Moving on. So talking about other different stuffs. Well, we all know how poised Bernardo might be. About this whole playing for Germany thing. But Mikel Arteta has discovered his new Arsenal undroppable following the 3-1 win over Crystal Palace. Now, Danny Murphy, former Fulham and Liverpool midfielder, has hailed Nicolas Pepe's importance in that Arsenal squad. He says, I think he suffered from the pressure of his price tag, but he certainly got talent. He's quick, skillful, he's direct. Like so many players, he's been up and down with his form, but today, he showed those bit of magic we've seen on occasions. Goals ultimately are what you judge from a forward player, and today he looked hungry, sharp, fit and confident. Back-to-back Premier League games he scored in for the first time, and he's got 14 goals this season, which isn't bad considering Arsenal haven't scored a handful. This isn't the Arsenal team of old where they're scoring bundles of goals. He's got to play more regularly. He's got to produce this type of form every week to keep himself ahead of Saka, who's probably been Arsenal's best player this season. Well, let's see what happens. Talking about other stuffs, well, ladies and gentlemen, as voted by one of the youngsters, Arsenal have signed the 10-year-old Meso, the Kenyan star, has been given a contract, yes, a scholarship by Arsenal, and they'll take care of his studies as well. That's really great to see the youngster join in Arsenal at a very tender age. Love to see that. And also, Nicolas Pepe was voted the man of the match for last night's performance, and congratulations, I'd say, because Freddie Lindbergh had some words of advice about Nicolas Pepe. He says that I like him, he's awkward to play against, has good speed, 1-against-1, he's very, very good. His goal is what I saw in training every day, and it's what you want to see in every game. Of course, there's other parts of his game he needs to learn, but if you can put him in these situations, he's lethal all the time. Now, Hibernian youngster Josh Doig has been likened to Kieran Tierney by Matt Macy. Matt Macy has something to say. He says that for me, comparisons to Tierney are absolutely not unrealistic for Josh. He can go as far as he wants. He's coming up to to a big moment in his career. He has obviously had a lot of big moments already in terms of his age and making that breakthrough. He's very level-headed and he'll take in his stride. For me, he can go right to the top. I have seen a lot of young players at Arsenal and he would be right up there for sure. Kieran and Josh obviously play the same position and I can see the similarities in the playing style. Josh is maybe a little bit younger than when Kenny made his move to Arsenal, but he can go on and do well. And Martin Keown had his say about Bukayo Saka because he believes that Saka might have picked up a knock. So he says that one assumes that Saka must have an injury or some sort of problem. Well, let's see how things turn out to be. Well, we have one more news for you guys as mentioned. So if you guys have been following Serie A, there's a breakthrough star in Roma, AS Roma, and if you actually can check him out, I had some news about him. I'll just find it. I just lost it actually. Yeah, here he is. I'll just here we go. So according to Corriere dello Sport, they say that Arsenal and Tottenham are watching Roma's Gambian starlet Ebrima Darbo's performances with great attention. So Ebrima Darbo is the name, and he is actually in the midst of Arsenal's attention as well. So with this, we end this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you seek daily Arsenal content, best place to be, consider subscribing. Cheers.